All right, so this is question 19 on the practice test. Right, it looks like we have an interface, we have an abstract class, we have a class here that extends or inherits from the abstract class. And mind you, the abstract class seems to be implementing the interface here. And then we have a driver class, right? So let's go ahead and make our checks. Like we just got to make sure that someone is implementing this method here, whether it be this abstract class or this class, right? And we also got to make sure that manager is implementing this method here because one, it's abstract, and two, because manager extends employee. It inherits from the employee class, meaning that it has been tasked with implementing this method. Okay, so let's go make our first check. Like, is public string type with no parameters present within the employee class? Well, I'm looking, I don't see it, right? So what this class could have decided to do is say, I don't want to implement it. I'm going to give it to my child or my children, right? My children class. So let's go ahead and check manager to see if we have public string type with no parameters, right? I'm looking, and I found it, right? I have public string type, no parameters, right? So we're good. That has been fulfilled, that contract. So let's go ahead and look to see if manager, since it extends employee or inherits from employee, has this method, right? Let's see if it fulfilled its contract with employee. So I'm looking for public void work no arguments, right? And it looks like I have it. Public void work with no methods, right? So it looks like both contracts have been fulfilled. So let's go ahead and investigate main and see what's happening, right? So I got this manager reference. So manager M is equal, or I guess it's pointing to, a new manager object. And it looks like I'm passing in 50 here. So let's go to the constructors in the hope that there is a constructor inside a manager that takes in an integer, right? And it looks like that is the case. Now, of course, before I go ahead and execute this line right here, I technically make a super call to the parent class. But then look, right, there is no constructor here. We had that implied, or I guess implicit Java constructor for the employee class. And there's no data here to initialize anyway, so it really does nothing. So we're back here to the constructor. We're saying that this dot salary is equal to whatever I just passed in, right? So the salary of this guy is equal to 50, right? Okay, so that's that. Like I'm done with the constructor. Now I'm going to this line here. So employee E is equal to a new manager. Let's go write that down. So I got an employee with the reference name of E, right? And then it is of type manager, or at least the object is. So I'm going to go to the manager constructor, which is right here, right? And I'm going to pass in 100, right? We make that super call, but it's useless, right? So I'm saying this dot salary is equal to 100, right? So salary is equal to 100. Okay. Now I'm going to print out m.type. So let's go look at m. M is a manager reference who points to a manager object. So I should probably be looking here for a dot type, right? So I look, and I find it, right? It's saying that I just need to return manager, right? So let's go print out manager, right? And it's saying plus the string and, right? So a string plus a string just equals a longer string. So I have and, then it's saying plus, or it's not saying plus. No, the line's done, right? Now we go to e dot work 50, right? So e is this employee reference who holds a manager object, right? So I had to go look first in the employee class for this work method, who takes an integer, and then maybe I'll investigate my manager class to see if there is an overwritten method, right? So okay, let's go first look at the employee class. And it looks like we have, okay, work with an integer. And it's saying we should print M plus salary. Okay, that's fine, but we have to also investigate manager now to see if the method has been overridden, right? And we look, and then we find public void. I guess void doesn't really matter here, but public work, and then we have an integer as the argument. But I mean, both of these print out the same thing. So I guess even if you didn't notice that, you'd probably still get the right answer. But here we are going to choose this method over this one, even though they do the same thing, right? So I'm going to do M plus salary. And by the way, when I say salary, I mean the thing you passed in. Now, if I wanted to talk about this guy's actual salary, what it would have said right here was I would have said this dot salary. This dot salary would have given me the 100 that you may have thought would have printed out. But no, 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 no. I don't have this dot salary. I just have salary, meaning that I'm referring to this number. I'm referring to this, right? So what I'm going to print out is manager and M plus 50. So string plus number is equal to string, right? So this is what I expect to print out to the screen. Let's go ahead and verify. Yep, it looks like we were correct. I hope this helped.